What's good? What's good? We back. We're live on TikTok and pre-recording for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram TV. I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving to y'all that celebrate Thanksgiving. This is episode 79. 21 more episodes and we'll be at 100. Do a big press release and run an ad campaign as well. Before I get started, hit that click now subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Hit that like on Facebook, hit that follow on TikTok, and hit that follow on Instagram. Don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotion for your music, your brand, your product, your service, check out promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover and you're a cat lover and you like t-shirts and hoodies with cats and dogs on them, just like I do, check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com, NEWLITTER.com. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out Dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future. Do your Dizzle. Dizzlebrand.com. Check them out, man. I got my bottle right here as well. Before I get started in any scores, I want to say to some of y'all out there that didn't celebrate Thanksgiving because y'all feel like because it has something to do with Native Americans or pilgrims or whatnot. I can tell you right now, nowadays, this day and age, ain't nobody celebrating Thanksgiving because of anything that has to do with Native Americans or pilgrims. They're celebrating Thanksgiving because this is a time to get together with their family members and eat and sit back and talk, reminisce, and relax. And sometimes a lot of these family members you don't even see all year long. They're out of town and whatnot. So people got to stop of saying, oh, well, you can't celebrate Thanksgiving because, what the Americans did to the Native Americans or pretty much, yeah, what Americans did to the Native Americans. Basically, that's not why we celebrate Thanksgiving nowadays. Nobody's even talking about that when they sit down and celebrate Thanksgiving. Nowadays, it's just like Christmas. It's not. Most people don't celebrate Christmas because Jesus Christ, the birth of Jesus Christ. I don't even believe in Jesus Christ. I just celebrate Christmas because it's the time to buy my niece and nephew some gifts and let them know how much Uncle Paul loves them. So let me get into some scores for Thanksgiving Day games, which the Bears lost to the Lions. And also, somebody was making a point, like, the Lions don't need to be playing on Thanksgiving no more. They need to stop. They need to have some of these better games. The only reason the Lions played on Thanksgiving is because the Lions owner, a long time ago, is the one that came up with the idea of playing on Thanksgiving. But just because you came with the idea and you innovated, don't mean you still, the top dog right now at doing something. Just because you innovate something doesn't mean you still run it 20, 30, 40 years later. Things fade out. Lions, definitely the worst team in the league for all of my lifetime. The Lions have always been bums. The Lions have been terrible my whole lifetime. 42 years, the Lions have not done nothing. So they shouldn't be playing on Thanksgiving. The Bears shouldn't have played on no Thanksgiving either. Raiders, Cowboys, that's fine. Bills, Saints, but they could have had a better game than the Bears, Lions. Raiders beat the Cowboys, of course, 36-33. Cowboys lost 3 straight now, and the Bills crushed the Saints. Let me get some NBA games. We had a few NBA games last night. Clippers beat Detroit. Clippers are really doing good without Kawhi Leonard right now. Paul George is definitely playing like MVP. My Charlotte Hornets beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Minnesota, technically speaking, on paper, Minnesota Timberwolves should be better than Charlotte Hornets. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell should be better than Charlotte. Just because Karl Anthony Towns, man. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota's they're still terrible. They're going to have to make some shakeups. Phoenix Suns beat the Knicks. Of course, Phoenix Suns don't look like they're losing to anybody anytime soon. Chicago beat Orlando, which they should have, 120-88. Indiana Pacers beat Toronto 114-97, and Atlanta beat Minnesota 132 to 100 total blowout. Washington beat OKC. Boston beat the Spurs. What do we got here? This is I can't tell what this game is. It's in the corner. You got Jazz lost to the Pelicans. Golden State beat. That's enough. Jazz losing to the Pelicans. What the hell's going on here? Golden State beat Portland. Sacramento beat the Lakers, and Lakers. I don't know what's up with the Lakers. Oh yeah, and it's the Bucks that beat the Nuggets. Crushed them. But Lakers, they got to get it together. Even though they got some injuries still, they got to get it together. Triple overtime at that. Golden State still looking like the best team. Phoenix looking like the second best right now. Milwaukee's starting to get things together. Milwaukee's healthy, and like I said, once they got healthy, they was going to get things together. All right, let me get into a couple things. Duke. Duke played Gonzaga. I'm going to tell you what, man. Duke, this is Coach K's last year, and this looks like the most legit chance I've seen Coach K had. He just looks like even if they lose a game in the ACC or whatnot, these guys, Coach K's team just looks really, really solid. The Pablo cat, I don't keep up with college basketball as much as I used to because college basketball has made a lot of changes, but Duke definitely looks legit. The center for Gonzaga, I know he's supposed to be the number one pick overall. I don't see it, man. He's too skinny. That guy from Duke, man, he's got to be the number one pick. He's got to be. He really does. I don't know what more to say. But, yeah. If Duke wins it all this year, I would not be shocked. It would be amazing for Coach K to go out with winning it all. This team, is so fucking damn good. Excuse my French, but they're so damn good. They're so good. And I'm a Tar Heel fan. I hate to say that, but Carolina Tar Heels are not what they used to be. And, yeah, but Paolo Banchero, that guy looks legit, yo. He looks legit. He has to be the number one pick, man. Not that other guy for Gonzaga, Chet, whatever his name is. I think it's Chet. There's no way he should go number one, man. He's too skinny, man. Any team that takes him number one, that's gonna go down as one of the most flopping number ones of all time. But yeah, Duke is looking amazing right now. I don't know what more to say. We got text coming in. Let's see. Mom Dukes. We got my sister coming in town. My little sister's coming to town. Mom's birthday is the 30th of this month. We're gonna go over there, get something to eat, sit down with Mom Dukes, chill out, wish her a happy birthday. Of course, I already gave her a gift and whatnot. But Duke is definitely looking like they could go undefeated and win it all. I would not be shocked. What else we got? The Lions shouldn't be playing on Thanksgiving. I already talked about it earlier, but Lions should not be playing on Thanksgiving just because the owner for Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, I guess it was the only thing he could come up with to get actual TV time at the time. I guarantee Detroit Lions was probably getting no TV time at the time. And he's like, you know what? We'll play on Thanksgiving. How about that? Get some football eyeballs on Thanksgiving. Get some ratings on Thanksgiving. We'll play on Thanksgiving. It was a brilliant idea, but Lions should no longer be played on Thanksgiving. Just because the owner, who doesn't even own the team anymore, thought of it, doesn't mean the Lions should be still in it. They've been at the worst of the league forever. The only time they were looking any kind of good is when Matt Stafford had Megatron. And then after that, bam. All right, so nothing more to talk about. Detroit, sorry, Detroit, but y'all shouldn't be playing on Thanksgiving no more. Klay Thompson is one of the most underrated players of all time. Klay Thompson is truly one of the most underrated players of all time. Especially if he comes back and they win a championship this year. He's probably the second best shooter of all time next to Steph Curry, his teammate who's number one. Before the injury, great defender, great off the ball, could score on the ball, with the ball. I mean, Klay Thompson is definitely one of the most underrated dudes ever. I'm thinking, like, this is the thing. Like, Reggie Miller is only really better than Klay Thompson to me because Klay Thompson played with Steph Curry. Klay Thompson is on, like, some team like OKC that didn't have nobody. Like, right now, OKC ain't got nobody. Klay Thompson in his prime on, like, OKC right now is probably putting up 25 to 30 every night. Every single night. You know, I think Klay Thompson might be as good as Reggie Miller. Maybe if not better, but as good as Reggie Miller. He's definitely a better defender than Reggie Miller was in his prime. Definitely a better shooter. You know what? No, Klay Thompson is better than Reggie Miller. I'm sorry. Reggie was just on the team and he was the man. You put Klay Thompson on those Indiana Pacers, he's probably putting up bigger numbers. You know, Klay Thompson is definitely one of the most underrated. If Reggie Miller is top 50 of all time, Klay Thompson probably should be top 50 all time. Second greatest shooter of all time. Played defense. Already has 3 championships. Probably about to get his 4th. All right. I seen this topic and I kind of agree with this. Lamello Ball needs to be an All-Star this year. If Lamello Ball is not an All-Star this year, something is wrong with All-Star voting. He has to be. I'm looking at the point guards in the East right now. I'm looking at all the point guards in the East, and let's go down this. The point guards in the East. I mean, is LaMelo Ball better than Lonzo? Yes, he's better than Lonzo. Is he better than Kyle Lowry? No, probably not. Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie's playing point guard for the Wizards, but he's really a 2 guard. Trae Young, maybe not. Is he better than the Knicks point guard? Yes. Better than the Sixers point guard? Yes. Is he better than the Boston Celtics point guard? Yes. Is he better than the Cleveland Cavaliers point guard? Yes. Is he better than Toronto Raptors point guard? Yes. You know how I know that? Because his game is translating to more wins. Is he better than the Indiana Pacers point guard? Malcolm Brogdon? Yes. Is he better than Detroit Pistons point guard? Cade Cunningham? Yes. Orlando Magic? Yes. He's better than all the point guards in the league except for maybe one. Well, Drew Holiday's playing point guard right now, but really it's Dante DiVincenzo or whatever. There's only like maybe 2. Yeah, he's got to be the second best point guard in the East. Right, third best. Third best point guard in the East right now behind Kyle Lowry and Trae Young is LaMelo Ball. He's the third best. He rebounds, he scores, and he assists. LaMelo Ball has to make the All-Star this year. If he doesn't make the All-Star this year, it's rigged. It's totally rigged. LaMelo, I better not see Lonzo Ball make no All-Star this year, and LaMelo Ball doesn't. If I see that, it's totally rigged. LaMelo Ball definitely should be an All-Star this year, and I'm not even saying that just because I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan and I'm from North Carolina, born and raised in Fayetteville, home of J. Cole and Murray, but LaMelo Ball, on any team doing what he does right now, is their best point guard in the East and should be an All-Star this year. All right, let me get to my last little topic. Before I do, hit that click now, subscribe button in the right hand corner. Hit that like, hit that share, comment. Any engagement is accepted. If you're on TikTok, watching me live, please hit that follow. I follow back. Don't forget to follow on Instagram and hit that like on Facebook as well. And don't forget the audio version of this podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and much more. All right, Christmas Day Parade incident. So somebody worded it like this, and I kind of agree with this. Black militant sex offender mowed down at least 55 white people Christmas Day Parade. So this is where the hypocrisy and the double standard comes in of society. Kyle Rittenhouse, in self-defense, shoots a white male shoots other white males, one armed, with a pistol pointing at him while he's on his back. And that's racism. White people shooting other white people in self-defense is racism. But a black militant sex offender who should not have been out of jail, period, runs over a bunch of white people and kills a bunch of white people with a car, and there's no racial motivation whatsoever. That's the double standards and hypocrisy of what's going on with the left. You know, it's like, okay, when the Kyle Rittenhouse and Ahmaud Arbery cases, they came out exactly how I thought they should. One got off of self-defense, and the other they're getting locked up for murder, blatant murder. Because another thing is, I heard like they were trying to bring in this like whole defense of civilian, not civilian justice, but civilian arrest. No, man, civilians don't need to be out here trying to arrest nobody. They don't need to be out here trying to arrest nobody. That's the cop's job. You know, that's why you call the cops and tell them to arrest somebody. You know, but civilians trying to arrest people is no good. Because I always said, this is one thing I always said. If y'all want to get rid of the police, I'm fine with that. But once you get rid of the police, I don't want to hear about no civilian justice or civilian arrest when I got to go take my shotgun to the grocery store to get some milk because somebody's going to try to rob me at gunpoint or at knife point. And then I got to shoot them and kill them. And you know, so that's the thing. It's one or the other. I don't agree with civilian arrest. If you want to get rid of the cops, okay, that's fine. Then there's not going to be no civilian arrest. Because if you get rid of a cop and a civilian thinks he's going to arrest me, he's going to have a bad day. He probably won't live to see it because no civilian's going to just put their hands on me and do anything to me. That's the cop's job. That's what cops are for. You know? And a civilian doesn't have no legal authority to arrest anybody anyways. Because first of all, if for a civilian to arrest somebody, they would have to, I would presume they would have to read them their rights. Man, civilians don't even know their rights. You got dudes that probably been arrested 5 or 10 times and had their rights read to them and still don't even know their rights. Most civilians don't even know their rights that you got to read, that cops read to you. Your right to remain silent, anything you say. That's the only thing we know. The first part of it, the right to remain silent, anything you say can or will be used against you in a court of law. You got a right to attorney. If you don't want an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Nobody knows nothing after that if there's any more that goes on. That's it. And I'm pretty sure they didn't do that as the civilians. The civilians ain't got no business trying to arrest nobody. So it went exactly how it should have. But the guy that, you know, this is the thing. They say that, like, all black people just get all these big offenses. Well, this guy was a sex offender that tried to run over his wife or his girlfriend earlier, you know, like, and was out on $1,000 bail. What are you talking about? he got a freaking slap on the wrist. And they ended up killing 5 people in it. And now he's not gonna get no slap on the wrist now, I can tell you that much. But that's the thing though. Like people are looking at everything in a racial lens now that dudes like this are getting off that should have been locked up. Okay, he's black, white, green, purple, orange, yellow, beige, or whatever. Like, sex offenders don't need to be get out. Sex offenders shouldn't be getting out on a $1,000 bail anyways. You know, like sex offending is the most heinous, one of the most heinous acts you could do in society. Besides killing somebody, rapists and sex offenders. That's it. Cold-blooded murderers, rapists, and sex offenders are the 3 worst scumbags in the world. I mean, a guy who commits armed robbery is not as bad as a sex offender as far as I'm concerned, or a rapist, or a murderer. A guy who breaks in a house is not as bad as a sex offender is like one of the most heinous things you could do in society, man. You know? So, yeah, he should have been locked up. If he would have been locked up, this would have been prevented. Now you got, a little kid, a bunch of people got ran over, five dead, and where's the media with the race narrative? Because it was mainly white people he ran over, but that's the double standard and that's the hypocrisy of this, like, who cares when white people get killed? White people get shot by the cops. It doesn't make national news. I've never seen, in my 42 years, I've never seen national news of a white person get killed by the cops. And guess what? More white people get killed by the cops than any other race in America. That's fact. Fact. Truth. Anybody that thinks any different and says any different is lying. They're telling themselves lies and they're lying to themselves. More white people get killed by cops every single year than any other race in America. But they never make national news. Just like, they don't want to bring racially motivated into the Christmas Day parade thing. But that's how they do. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. My name is Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett Podcast. Hit the click now, subscribe button, like, share, hit the follows. Don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. You need online marketing promotions for your product, your brand, or your service. Check out promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover, cat lover, animal rights activist, and you like t-shirts and hoodies with dogs and cats on them, check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. Also, if you like to drink alcohol, you like cognac and agave tequila, one or the other, or you like them together, then try out dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, dizzle and ice. Dizzlebrand.com, do your dizzle. Check them out. Dizzlebrand.com. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is episode 79. Thanksgiving week. Once again, I want to say happy birthday to my mom, who, I don't know how old she is. She's like 60-something, but her birthday is the 30th, and she's another year older. So happy birthday to Diane, Jean, Cresswell, Serene, my moms. All right, happy birthday, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.